All of this right here is real pretty and real nice, and I'm glad to contribute to it to whatever extent I can, but this ain't the work. You understand? This right here that we're going to do tonight is not the work. This conversation is not the work. The work is what is going on out there in the streets that cannot be spoken of by the mayor of Baltimore for fear of angering white people, that cannot be spoken of by the mayor of any major city in this country where racism and policing continues to affect communities of color without fear of angering white folks. It cannot be spoken of by the governor of the state of Maryland for the same reason. It cannot be spoken of by the president of the United States, the most powerful human being on the planet. And yet, tonight, less powerful than me in this room. Now, what does that tell you? Because, see, I can say things this evening that the president cannot say. And we talk about he's a powerful man with all this incredible ability to shape world affairs, and he can't even tell the truth. Assuming for a minute that he understands and recognizes that truth, he cannot speak it without compromising his political ability to shape politics. What does that tell you, man? I'm a 46-year-old white man. I got no PhD. I got no law degree from Harvard like the president does. I'm not the president, never been to the White House except when I was in 8th grade. And I can stand up here and I'm going to be able to tell you some things about this system, many of which you already know, many of which you in this room, particularly the folks of color in this room, already know and speak about every day and get ignored for speaking that truth. So you see, we can come together, we will talk about this evening, and I will try to articulate both an understanding of the problem and also maybe some potential solutions for that problem. But we as a society had better get better at hearing it from people of color in the raw, not filtered for white ears, not filtered for media sensibility, not filtered so that folks will like it and understand it and applaud it and give us a warm, fuzzy feeling when we hear it. But because we need to hear the truth. And that's something we're not prepared as a society to do, even though you're willing to come here and hear me. See, I know why I get 50, 60, 70 engagements a year. It's not because I'm the best speaker, I'm okay. It's not because I'm the best writer, I'm okay. There are a lot of good speakers, there are a lot of good writers on this subject. Overwhelmingly, they are people of color, and they do not receive the same level of attention as I do. Because when people of color tell this truth, they get ignored. That's our problem, you see? So we need to be able to hear it from our colleagues. We need to be able to hear it from our peers, our neighbors, the people who sit next to us in class, and those faculty of color who are too often retaliated against when they try to tell the truth. I just want to say that as a matter of moral, ethical, and even practical obligation. For those of us who are white and trying to stand in solidarity with our brothers and sisters of color, we have to be honest enough to acknowledge that. That even in our activism, even in our resistance, there is privilege. And there is amplification of our voices, which is inherently unjust. And until the society changes, we'll have to make the best of that, I suppose, that we can. But we still have an obligation to change that, because the truth is out there, and it's black truth, and it's brown truth. And the fact that I can bring it to you in a white aesthetic, I guess that'll work for now. But at some point, right, it has to come from those who actually know it and who live it and whose lives depend upon it. So remember that. I think our problem